Everybody knows that you need to drink water. You have to stay hydrated. Hydration or water is very important for health. Your body is about 60% water, and your muscles are 72% water. A lot of people don't realize that, but you probably heard the old story about how you have to drink eight ounce glasses of water, or about a half a gallon a day. It's called the 8 by 8 rule. Actually, if you look in the scientific journals and try and find the source of that, you won't be able to find it. I think somebody just made it up out of the air. There's no real requirement like that. However, the U.S. National Academy of Science, Engineering, and Medicine, they state that the average woman should be drinking about 11 and a half cups a day, which is 2.7 liters of water. A man should consume about 15.5 cups a day, or 3.7 liters a day of water. Now you have to also take into account that you get water from fluids, fluids. You get water in various foods and teas and juice, and in fact, 20% of the water you take in is derived from the food that you eat. You might need the water requirements differ depending on various conditions. For example, if you live in a very hot, humid, dry area, or if you live in the mountains or a very high altitude, you're going to need to drink more water because it's easier to get dehydrated under those conditions. A lot of it depends on how much water. How much water you need depends on your diet. For example, if you drink a lot of coffee, coffee has a diuretic effect, and you lose a little bit of water, even though obviously coffee supplies water, but it also has a diuretic effect, and you know, it's not really something that you have to worry about unless you drink like 20 cups of coffee a day. You might need to drink more water if your diet is high in salty foods, high in sodium, spicy or sugary foods. The sugary foods also increase water release from the body. If you don't eat a lot of hydrating foods like fruits and vegetables, you also might need to drink a little extra water. Water intake also depends on the ambient temperature. Obviously, you're going to need more water when it's warmer, when you sweat more. If you spend a lot of time in the sun or in hot temperatures or in a heated room, you also might need to drink more water. Activity level. Obviously, if you work out, you sweat a lot, you might also probably need to drink more water. The thing is that, though, the more fit you get, believe it or not, the more, I think the way it works is the more fit you get, the less you sweat. In other words, the people that are out of shape tend to sweat more, because as you get in better shape, your heat conduction system in the body and the skin gets more efficient, and you don't sweat as much, and you also lose less minerals in the sweat, like sodium and potassium and all those things. If you have an infection or a fever, you can lose water through vomiting or diarrhea. You're going to need to drink more water. Diabetics tend to also urinate. That's one of the signs of diabetes, excessive urination. You're going to also need to drink more water. Of course, you don't have to be a genius to know if you take diuretic drugs like a lot of bodybuilders do before a contest, they're going to lose a tremendous amount of water. It's very, very easy to get dehydrated. As a matter of fact, diuretics are probably the most, I've talked about this in my Applied Metabolics newsletter, diuretics are probably the most single dangerous drug used in bodybuilding, because if they're used wrong, you could deplete so many electrolytes or minerals that you can actually drop dead of cardiovascular disease, or a heart. Your blood pressure can go so low that you can pass out. All kinds of things can happen. Now, a lot of people wonder about how drinking water affects energy. If you don't drink enough water, if you're dehydrated, your energy level is going to drop. A study in women showed that the fluid loss of only 1.36% after exercise led to mood impairments, lack of concentration, and increased headache frequency. Another study in China that followed 12 men found that not drinking water for 36 hours had noticeable effects on fatigue, attention and focus, reaction speed, and short-term memory. Even mild dehydration can reduce physical performance. A clinical study on older, healthy men reported that just a 1% loss in body water, reduced their muscle strength, power, and endurance. That's just 1%. Losing 1% of body weight might not seem a lot, but it's a significant amount of water to lose. However, some studies show that in regard to, let's say, weight training, you would have to lose more than 2 to 3% of your water content to notice any increase in fatigue. So that varies. What about another aspect of drinking water that a lot of people don't consider is that drinking water might even help you on a diet, might help you lose some weight. One study showed that drinking more water than usual correlated to a decrease in body weight and body composition scores. Another review of studies found that chronic dehydration was associated with obesity, diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. Now, one reason for that is that when you're dehydrated, you have the raised levels of two particular hormones. One actually called angiotensin 2, which is associated with many chronic diseases such as obesity, diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. Again, when you get dehydrated, this particular hormone goes up, and that's why it causes the health problems. Researchers in another older study estimated that drinking 68 ounces or 2 liters of water a day increased energy expenditure by about 23 calories per day due to a thermogenic response or a faster metabolism. In fact, one study that compared drinking a glass of water to taking a 25 milligram ephedrine tablet found similar increases in resting metabolic rate between ephedrine and water, except that the water had no side effects. The ephedrine could possibly have side effects because it slightly raises your blood pressure. Drinking water about a half hour before meals can also reduce the number of calories you end up consuming. One study showed that people who drank 17 ounces of 500 milliliters of water before each meal lost 44% more weight over 12 weeks compared to those who didn't drink the water. Drinking water right before a meal, for some reason, I don't know whether it's a thermogenic effect or what, it actually noticeably decreases your appetite. So it's a trick to use if you're on a weight loss diet. Try and drink a full glass of water before a meal. You'll find that you're less hungry. You won't want to eat as much. Drinking water can prevent a number of health problems. Obviously, one of them is constipation. Constipation usually involves a dehydration effect. So if you want to avoid constipation, you do two things. You drink enough water, and you also include dietary fiber in your diet, such as fruits, vegetables, grains, that kind of thing. If you don't drink enough water, you're more prone to urinary tract infections. This is particularly true in women. Women have a higher tendency for urinary tract infections, especially if they get dehydrated. Dehydrated, it's one word. Kidney stones. The biggest risk factor for kidney stones besides genetics is being dehydrated. If you want to protect your kidneys, make sure you drink enough water. It's very, very important for kidney health. And as I said, one of the dangers of diuretics is it causes you to lose so much water that the blood pressure in the kidney actually drops. The kidney has to have a certain amount of blood pressure to properly filter the blood. And when you're dehydrated, when your blood volume gets too low, the kidneys can't work properly. This can cause severe kidney damage. This has happened to some bodybuilders. If you want your skin to look better, you have to drink water because skin hydration is one of the things that makes your skin look younger, less wrinkles, less fine lines. Drink, as I said before, drinking coffee, it'll cause a little bit of a diuretic effect, but it's kind of weak. It's not going to really cause any problem. As I said, most foods contain natural amounts of water, even meat, fish, and eggs, but fruits and vegetables contain by far the greatest water content. They're 90% water or more, fruits and vegetables, mostly water. Now, how do you know that you're properly hydrated? Well, you could for one way is you can't really rely on feeling thirsty because it's not. You could actually be dehydrated and not be that thirsty. By the time you feel thirsty, you're already feeling the effects of dehydration. Some people say to go by your urine color. In other words, you want to aim for pale, clear urine. The problem with that is if you take supplements that contain B-complex vitamins, for example, vitamin B2 or riboflavin, when you take that in amounts over 50 milligrams, when you pee, the urine's going to look very, very yellowish because riboflavin imparts a yellowish tinge to the urine, and that makes it look like you're dehydrated when in fact you're not necessarily dehydrated. It's the riboflavin doing that, so you got to be careful of this. Um, so yeah, that's about it for the getting enough water. You don't have to force it down. It's a good idea to sip water when you're working out. If you're going to use any kind of one of these energy drinks, make sure that it contains no more than 6 to 8% carbohydrate. Because if you take one of those workout drinks that has more carbohydrate than that, the carbohydrate will actually block fluid uptake and increase the chances of dehydration. You also want to make sure you drink enough water on the hot, humid days when you're sweating a lot in the gym. I can't speak for other gyms, but I know that Gold's Gym, I wouldn't suggest drinking out of public fountains in gyms. Bring your own water or drink bottled water, because the water fountains in gyms are, the only word I could use is absolutely disgusting. I've seen people spit into those water fountains. I've seen them blow their nose and shoot snot into the water fountains. I've seen them suck on the water fountains. In this day and age of COVID-19, I wouldn't go near a public water fountain, especially in a gym where they got some of the biggest slobs in the world. I mean, the gym where I train, the people use the bathroom and they don't even flush the toilet. I don't know whether they're I doubt if they're environmentalists. I think they're just plain pigs. But that's another story. That's another story. So that's about it for drinking water. Make sure you drink enough. You don't have to force it down, but if you eat normally, include fruits and vegetables, you'll probably get enough water. But you be careful on the hotter days. If you want more information on nutrition, exercise science, hormonal therapy, anti-aging research you can use today, fat loss techniques that actually work, ergogenic aids, supplement science, which supplements work, which ones don't. I'm not associated with any food supplement company, so I'm going to tell you the 100% truth based on research, based on supplement analysis. I have no axe to grind here. There's a lot of videos. I've seen some videos on YouTube. They seem like they're informational videos until it gets about either the midway point or right at the end, where you find out that the guy who made the video is selling you a supplement. There's one guy who actually analyzes other supplements, and he criticizes them how bad they are. But for your convenience, at the end of the video, he offers you his own supplement, which is probably just as crappy as the other ones. But anyway, I'm not selling anything in my Applied Metabolics newsletter other than evidence-based information. Plus, you have the fact that I have 60 years, count them, 60 years of experience and constant study in these fields of nutrition and exercise science. There's a lot of people with advanced degrees. I strongly doubt that they can match the experience and knowledge that I've accumulated in 6 decades. There's things that you just don't learn in school, but you learn empirically or through practical experience. I impart all of this in my Applied Metabolics newsletter. I'll show you for example, the exercise techniques that can hurt you, that don't work. I've been through it all. I could save you a lot of time, a lot of injuries. There's no digital publication that can match Applied Metabolics for in terms of in-depth information and truth, solid evidence truth. I guarantee that no matter what your level of education, you will learn something in every issue of Applied Metabolics. I promise you that. It comes out every month. It's 40 to 50 pages each issue. It's about the size of an average ebook. If you have a short attention span, well, then you could use Microsoft Word. Comes with a free document reader. All you got to do is set it up. It'll read you the articles. You don't even have to read it. It'll read your computer, your iPad, whatever you have. It will read the article for you. So there's no excuse. You can't claim it's too much to read, because you can do that anytime. So again, subscribe to my Applied Metabolics newsletter, www.appliedmetabolics.com. When you subscribe, I'll send you a personal invitation to join my private Applied Metabolics Facebook page, where every day I post new information on exercise science, medicine, and general health. Very informative. It's only for current subscribers. I have an email portal on my Applied Metabolics webpage where current subscribers only, I don't accept unsolicited questions, can send me short questions about something they might have read in Applied Metabolics or whatever comes in their mind. Please, I would also advise, don't be abusive about this. I offer this, this free questions as a service of appreciation to my subscribers, because I appreciate them subscribing. But a couple of my subscribers, unfortunately, have gotten carried away, where they were sending me anything that popped in their head, any question, they would send it to me, email it to me. Then one guy was sending me about 15, 20 questions a day. I mean, you're not going to get that for $10 a month. I'm sorry. Nobody in the world's going to do that. And, as I said, it's $10 a month. It's less than the cost of a daily newspaper, and a lot more information. I guarantee you, just give it a shot. I've been a professional writer for over 40 years. I know how to write for the public. Unlike a lot of these other digital publications where written by grad students or people that have the degrees, they can't write. They can't write for crap. I mean, it's very boring to read this stuff. It's like going through mud. I mean, I've seen these publications. I have a deep interest in science. I can't even get through 2 paragraphs of their articles. They're just very, very difficult to read. I write on a 6th grade level purposely so that anybody can understand even the most technical information. So again, subscribe today, www.appliedmetabolics.com. If you want to have the best friend you'll ever have, go to your local shelter, adopt a dog. Thank you for listening. I'm going to go have a glass of water now. Take care.